Hey, how's it going, everybody? Ryan here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Stardew Valley Expanded, but kind of like different, not really. So recently I started a Stardew Valley Expanded playthrough on my channel, and I was doing episodes where I would play like 3 to 4 in-game Stardew Valley days, and that was fine. But what I realized was that I actually preferred having a lot more in the videos in regards to what happens. I found that there were some days where there would be a combination of 3 to 4 days where I would do almost nothing of importance. So what I'm instead going to do is I'm going to scrap that, reboot the series, I guess, and we are going to instead just do full months of Stardew Valley Expanded, and that will be how I show my playthrough of Stardew Valley Expanded on this channel. So yeah, I'm gonna leave those old videos up there for just, you know, having them up here, but this is going to be my brand new Stardew Valley Expanded playthrough. We're gonna do it right here. So what you're about to see is just my first whole month of spring condensed down, and that'll be how the series goes. So thank you so much for stopping by the channel and watching. I appreciate it very much. I don't want to keep this too long, so without further ado, let's get into it on Diamond Farm, which I named after my Animal Crossing New Horizons island. Brought it over to Stardew Valley. The first few days of my Stardew Valley Expanded playthrough played out pretty much like any other Stardew playthrough up until this point. On the first day was lots of running around and talking to people, just trying to get that introduce yourself to everybody quest checked off. I also made sure to start gifting things to Sophia when I first started this playthrough. I have never really romanced anybody in this game before, and I figured what better way to start romancing, or at least try a romancing route, than with Sophia. She's a cool new NPC who runs a vineyard. So yeah, from here on out, I always made a mental note to myself to try and gift 2 things to Sophia every single week. I also forgot to buy seeds at Pierre's with my money that I had, so that was kind of a shame. Day 2, I got my fishing rod, and so I did lots of fishing. I also made sure to buy seeds for the community center bundles that I know are getting ready to unlock in the next few days. And one thing that Stardew Valley Expanded actually adds is that Morris, who runs JojaMart, actually has a birthday in this game, and so I gave him a rock because I felt that that was appropriate. Other than that, I just spent the rest of the day fishing because I really needed money. Day 3, I got my furnace blueprints from Clint. I made sure to gift and speak with Sophia to checkmark all of the things that I can do to try and increase my hearts with her. And as always, day 3 is a rainy day, and because I don't have the mines unlocked, I figured this would be a good opportunity for me to try and catch some of the rainfish again for the upcoming community center bundles. So if you know anything about early game Stardew Valley, you know that if your level and things aren't high enough, it costs you a lot of energy to do anything. There really wasn't much for me to do today while I'm waiting for things to unlock. I decided to spend most of my energy leveling my mining by destroying the rocks that are on the farm. Given the fact that I had been working towards getting my hearts up with Sophia at this point, I knew that the next time I saw her would trigger a cutscene, and this cutscene was really cool because she actually gives you a sprinkler, and she also lets you know that you can buy sprinklers from her in her cosplay room, which is cool because that's something that regular Stardew Valley doesn't have. There is no NPC that gives you a sprinkler, explains how to use it, or has a place to just buy them early on. So this is actually a great addition to the game, not just for expanding the content, but also for making it kind of more beginner friendly, as that's something that I know that most people have a kind of an issue with in regards to trying out this game for the first time. Day 5, I got my cat on the farm, which I of course opted to adopt, and I stuck with the first name that it came up with, which was just Dudley. Normally I would name the cat Diego, as that is the name of the cat that I have in real life, but I didn't really feel like doing that every single time, so Dudley it was. It was also Parsnip Harvest Day, and I also got a letter from a brand new NPC that was introduced in Stardew Valley Expanded as well, and it is a letter from Susan. She says that she has been trapped behind the boulder that separates the town from the spa and the railroad area. She says that she lives up there and she's been stuck there, so we can't meet her yet, but this is the first communication that we get from her. I also decided to go ahead and upgrade my fishing rod and do a little bit of fishing that night. Day 6 and the community center is finally unlocked. We of course have to wait a day to start distributing things into it because we have to first read the weird letter and then go talk to the wizard, so can't do anything with it yet. And so today was just kind of a chores day. I walked around, talked to some folks, did some fishing, but what was really cool is we had a fairy that visited the farm that night, which is awesome because it meant that on the next day, day 7, everything was immediately harvestable, which means that I was able to make a pretty big profit fairly quickly. I visited the wizard to drink his weird potion so that I could have the ability to read Junimo language and then of course deposit things into the community center bundles, and finishing off the day by clearing my farm out slash leveling up my skills as well too. Day 8 and the start of week 2, and I decided to go ahead and upgrade my backpack, spend 2,000 gold to get another row of inventory. And I did that because I knew that today I was going to just be spending a lot of my time fishing for money. I also had a quest from Gus to catch a largemouth bass, and because in fishing you can catch 3 of the same type of fish with different qualities, I figured I needed the room, and this was probably going to pay for itself after a couple of days, so got a backpack upgrade and spent the rest of the day fishing. At this point, I had collected a few things that I needed to donate to both the community center and the museum, so I spent a good majority of my morning doing that. Afterwards, I met Marlin in the cave that leads down into the mines, which is now an incredible distance away from your farm. And so one thing I knew I wanted to do was get the minecarts working as soon as possible, because I gotta tell you, walking from your farm to the mine takes a good chunk of time, and you really don't want to be wasting all that time walking and doing nothing. So I just went fishing, as always, because I also knew that I was going to be doing nothing but progressing through the mines tomorrow. So yeah, fishing day. Day 10, as I said, just go through the mines. I was able to get down to level 10, and if you don't know, it's every 5 levels is a checkpoint for you. So I try to get down to every 5th level that I can before the end of the day, and on this day in particular, I was only able to get down to level 10. Day 11, we had the quest to find Robin's axe in Cindersap Forest, which it pretty much is in the exact same spot, so I gave that to her on the way to the mines. And on this day, we were only able to get to level 16. Day 12, I finally completed the spring crops bundle. I could have completed it a little bit earlier, but I accidentally sold all my parsnips, so I had to regrow one, and I did, and yeah, it's a little late, but still. Completed the spring crops bundle. After that, back into the mine. My goal is to get iron, but obviously it's at this point just to get as deep into the mine as possible. Day 13, the day of the egg festival, and this time around I didn't make a mistake that I tend to make in most of my other Stardew Valley playthroughs, and that is I actually saved up enough money to buy strawberry seeds, which, if you didn't know, is the most profitable thing that you can buy during the springtime. So because this event happens midway through the month, you want to make sure you have some money put away to buy some strawberry seeds, as they'll give you the most return on your investment. Of course, we had the egg hunt, which I won by getting 10 eggs. At this point, it's not even really a competition between myself and Abigail. It's kind of a competition between myself and the previous record. Like I said, I got 10 this time around. I don't think I've gotten more than that. I don't even know if there's any more that you can get than that. I feel like I did pretty good, but yeah, I got 10. Day 14 is pretty cool because Andy, the farmer who works at the farm down in Cindersap Forest next to the vineyard that Sophia works at, he actually gives you some strawberry seeds, which is cool because if you miss it the day before, in the original game, you would have to wait until next year to get them. So having Andy come by and give you some was really cool. Well, he doesn't give you them. He says he's going to mail them to you, but just having someone give them to you is awesome. And then back into the mine, getting to level 35 this time around for the final checkpoint of the day. Next day, day 15, Andy actually comes around to talk about scarecrows, and I played this game enough already to know that I need scarecrows to prevent them from eating up my crops, and in addition to that, it's one of the quests that you get. But I think that it's nice, again, like Sophia giving you the sprinkler as kind of a pseudo tutorial for watering your plants easier. Andy coming around to talk to you about making scarecrows is really nice, as some people probably skip out on that. So yeah, having new NPCs come by to give tutorials every now and again for Stardew Valley Expanded is really cool. And on this day, I decide that it's finally time to upgrade my pickaxe. I'm making decent progress in the mine, but it's definitely not as fast as I want it to, and it's still fairly early in the playthrough, and so I decided to take this opportunity to give my pickaxe to Clint for the next couple of days, and so I just took the rest of the day to just kind of clean up the farm around Grandpa's grave. Day 16, I got a letter to check out a bridge to the east side of town called Shearwater Bridge, and this is a new bridge in Stardew Valley Expanded, and I think it leads to another town. I think it leads to Grampleton, which I'm pretty sure is also an expanded town. There's so many new locations and NPCs in this game that I have no idea about, so if you are familiar with them, bear with me. But yeah, I had a letter to go fish over there, so I checked that out. Had a ton of salmon berries that were in season, and I caught this really interesting fish called the puppy fish, which was really kind of weird when I first saw it, but I also thought it was really cool. So I decided to keep that, and I wanted to give it as a gift to see what kind of reaction that would give. So I stored the puppy fish away and just spent the rest of the day fishing, of course. Day 17, and my upgraded pickaxe is ready to go. So I pick it up from Clint's and then head to the mines to try to get down past level 40, which I do. And this is where you start running into iron. However, when I started to try and progress down further, the weapon that I had, which was just the basic simple sword that you get from Marlin, was just really not cutting it. I couldn't get anywhere. So I decided to just do this thing where I continuously reset level 41 in the mines to farm as much iron as possible. And then sometime soon, I was just going to use all of that to upgrade my pickaxe. So yeah, didn't make any progress level wise, but did manage to acquire quite a bit of iron. Day 18 is a good luck day, and what I like to do on good luck days is head to the mines. Of course, I'm already working towards progressing down further, but this is a golden opportunity to try and get an increase of, the ore that you find when you go down there. I, at some point, had gotten this wood club that was a little bit higher level than the sword that I was using, and I was trying to go down the mine as much as I could, and it was just okay, but the wood club definitely wasn't good enough to get me down the mine fast enough, so I decided to just ditch that idea, at least for today. Other than that, some of the cool things that happened were I discovered the owl statue that appeared on my farm. I remember hearing the owl at some point during the night recently, but I forgot to check for a statue, so I found it and moved it. I had the classic Vince and Jazz sewer cutscene, and I gave my puppy fish that I caught a few days ago to Sophia, and it turns out that puppy fish is something that Sophia really loves. So as often as I can, I made it a plan to try and catch a puppy fish every time I needed to gift something to Sophia, which I was already dreading because catching this puppy fish was kind of a chore in and of itself. Day 19 is what you are probably going to start seeing as your classic kind of wait for stuff to be done while fishing kind of day. I had Robin start building the coop on my farm. That way I can start getting chickens and other farm animals going. But all of this, of course, costs money, and I need money to upgrade my pickaxe faster, which I said earlier I wanted to do to try and get through the mines faster. So as I mentioned before, we go fishing. So on day 20, I decide to just go ahead and see how far into the mines I can get with just the regular sword that I was given by Marlin and my regular copper pickaxe. And surprisingly, for a neutral luck day, I was pretty lucky. I was able to find all the ladders to go to the next floor pretty efficiently, and not even into nighttime, I was actually able to get it to level 55 before I had to stop and leave because of energy issues. But still, getting to level 55 was way better than I thought I could do before. Day 21 was cool because I was able to get a cutscene triggered in Pelican Town where Leah is tending to a community garden that now sits outside of the museum, which is cool, but I don't think there's anything I can do with the community garden. She gives you a bean, which you then just kind of eat immediately, so you don't even really get to keep it, but they kind of have like a nice interaction with each other. Just having this out there and creating all these little moments in Stardew Valley Expanded really does add more to the characters, and I really like that and appreciate them for doing that. So I just wanted to talk about this cutscene for a moment, because if there is nothing that happens further from this, I just want to say that as someone who never really interacted with Leah in the original game, this does lend to me thinking that Leah is kind of a cooler character in the overall scheme of the game. But anyway, I knew I wanted to get further into the mine, so I headed to the Adventurers Guild, spoke to Marlin. I decided to get just a kind of cheap sword to get me through the last 5 levels that I needed to, and it worked wonders. I got to level 60, I got my new dagger reward, which was just insanely better than whatever weapons I was using up until that point. So the only thing I'm really missing now is just a really good pickaxe. Next day, day 22, Robin finished our coop, and I kind of planned that not great because then I went to go to Marnie to buy farm animals, and I forgot that on this day, she is not open because it is Monday. Other than heading to the mine for the rest of the day, I did drop off my axe at Clint's to be upgraded to a copper axe because I figured that the earlier I can get this upgraded, the earlier I can access the secret forest, as I have actually no idea what is in store in the secret forest in Stardew Valley Expanded. But also just having my tools upgraded earlier rather than later was definitely something I wanted to try and accomplish. Day 23, I go to the community center and I donate enough to a bundle to finally unlock basically all of the community center bundles. So at this point now, whenever I see something that I know goes to the community center, I'm saving it. I'm not really necessarily trying to complete the community center before like the first year, but if it goes to the community center, I'm not going to do anything else but donate it. So, you know, if I can get it done earlier, great. Leveling up has of course been paying off, as when we head to the mines, we are able to get down to level 70. We also end our day getting up to level 5 in mining, which is just going to be nothing but helpful as it goes on. Day 24, I wanted to build a silo, but I forgot that it was the day of the Flower Dance Festival, which meant that everything was going to be closed. And I know how the Flower Dance Festival goes. I know that when I go, nobody's going to want to dance, and so I'm just going to be standing awkwardly off to the side. Yeah, I felt that there was nothing for me there, and there was something better for me to be doing, and that was to get to level 80 in the mine, which ends up actually paying off because getting to level 80 in the mine allows me to get the final thing that I need to fix the mine carts. So in the end, it was definitely a better choice than being stood up at the Flower Dance Festival. Day 25 started off with quite a bit of fishing. I was struggling to catch a puppy fish for Sophia, and eventually I got it. And when I gifted it to her that day and I spoke to her, she said that she wasn't feeling good. So this kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I know that after getting to a few hearts with certain NPCs, you can sometimes trigger cutscenes with them depending on their location or what you're doing or time of day. So for some reason, I felt that if I left and came back, I would get a cutscene, which I did. It was a cutscene of her talking to her friend Scarlet, and they were talking about some of Sophia's new medication. Scarlet left. She said that she had someone here who was helping out near Marnie's place, and when Sophia asked me if I had overheard their conversation, of the two options, either I didn't or straight up like, oh, you're talking about medications, I said I didn't. And she just simply asked me to not say anything about it. I'm not sure if that was a better choice, but we'll see what happens. I also got a lot of money from the strawberries that finally came in, and in the next day, day 26, I used a lot of that money to buy a few farm animals, a couple of chickens that I placed in the brand new coop that Robin had built for me. Demetrius, of course, came and asked about the cave and whether or not he could turn it into a mushroom cave or a bat cave, and this time around I decided to go ahead and do a bat cave. I normally do a mushroom cave since mushrooms produce mushrooms more often than the bat cave produces fruits, but this time around I figured I'd try the fruit cave, and it was something different. Plus I think that it helps with completing the community center if doing it fast was something that I wanted to attempt. I also finally got my silo built, that way I can start clearing out grass and getting hay and storing it for later, and it was Pierre's birthday today. I didn't really have anything on me at the time when I saw him, so I just gave him a horseradish, which he didn't like, and got the cool obsidian edge sword reward that you get when you make it to level 90 in the mine. So at this rate, I am on track to hopefully get to the bottom of the mine within the next week or so. Day 27 and only a couple more days until the end of the season, which means that anything that's going to take longer than 2 days to grow is completely worthless, which on my current farm is most of my things. So I decided to use this as an opportunity to upgrade my watering can. That way, when summer comes around, I have an upgraded watering can, and it will allow me to use less energy when I need to water my stuff, as I'm still in the process of getting a high enough level to where I can finally start making my own quality sprinklers, or I get enough money to buy quality sprinklers from Sophia. Day 28, last day of spring, really no care that needs to be done on the farm except for just petting my chickens. So I spent the morning fishing for a puppy fish for Sophia, of course, which took a while. It actually took until 12 p.m. to do so. And I'm not even sure if puppy fish is something that's going to be available once the season goes over. So in hindsight, probably should have kept on fishing for puppy fishes and kind of stocked up on some, which is such a weird sentence to say. After gifting Sophia another puppy fish, I spent the rest of the day just progressing through the mine. And that is how I spent the final day of spring here in Pelican Town on Stardew Valley Expanded. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to like the video if you enjoyed this style of content, and if you want to see more videos from me in the future, please be sure to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Until next time, everybody, I thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video.